Glad you're still with us. Earlier, we told you about the proposal, the requests for the creation of about 31 states across the country. We're now joined by Victor Okhai. He is a public affairs analyst to share his perspective on the state creation proposal. Thank you very much for giving us your time. I'll just not beat around the bush and ask, is this dead on arrival, or it's a viable consideration at this time in the country's history?
Well, I find it a bit laughable that seems to be the priority of the National Assembly at a time like this. It's not to say that it's not something that has been on the, that has been considered for a while. But when you hear the number, it just tells you that everyone wants his village to be a state. Otherwise, we currently have many states that are not viable. It's so obvious that many states are not sustainable. I mean, you saw what happened with the new tax reform bill being proposed, where many states are complaining and all that. And so it just tells that a lot of these states, as are currently, as they currently stand, are not viable. And what it does mean is that, I mean, as soon as you create new states, you're going to have new state assemblies, new state assembly complexes, new commissioners. You buy cars for all of these, and it's just going to be so loaded. And this is money that should rightly go into development.
But what
so
about the argument?
I think that it's a priority right now. It's certainly not 31. 31 just simply means everyone wants to be a governor.
There is argument that
yes,
having more states will ensure that governance get a little closer to the people, and that the expected expenses is okay in light of the benefits that will bring governance closer to the people.
While I do not argue with those who say that, but I would also want to point out that if the local governments were properly strengthened, that very objective will be accomplished, because the local government is the closest to the people. If the state governments were not pilfering local government funds, and they allowed the local government chairman use the money for development as a third tier of government, then I think that particular objective would have been met. Yeah, well, if you say, I mean, there are some states right now where the only developed parts of those states are the capital, the capital towns, or if you like, call them capital villages or cities, and there's not much, further down as you go into those states. So I think that what we need to do is that, unfortunately, there's no political will, because every president that comes, they're afraid, is thinking about continuity of second term, and so they don't want to disrupt the status quo. They don't want the governors to go against them. Otherwise, I think what the current president was proposing about strengthening the local government areas and making sure that money goes directly to them would have taken care of that. I don't see why they even put it off and say it should come further. It's just a compromise that will not do anybody any good. If there must be development at the grassroots, let it be through the local government. That's why they were created.
On the off chance that there's a possibility that this idea for more states would even be considered, how feasible is the stringent legislative requirement, particularly is in the endorsement by 24 state houses of assembly? Is that even something that can be collated?
Well, it's the way, with the number I see there, it's not going to be too difficult, because it's going to be scratch my back, I scratch your back. What it simply means, therefore, is that because they have spread it so wide, or so many people are applying, nearly every region is covered, most places are covered. I mean, what you just simply need, and once you have what you call it now, I think an overwhelming majority of state House of Assembly, and in this state House of Assembly, are favored in the sense that they also have new states, then it's going to fly, you know. So it may not be impossible, but it's going to create a wieldy second tier of government.
All right, Mr. Okhai, thank you so much for speaking with us.